Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes of Israel. Today I'm going to deal with a commentary share called Music of Rebellion. Music of Rebellion. So this is concerning a clip that was circulated online a few weeks ago of Keke Palmer, who was being serenaded by Usher, and it turns out that she was flirting with him, and she turned around to show her bare backside in her underwear, right? So this is obviously disrespectful to her man, which is effectively her husband, because there's no boyfriend and girlfriend in the Bible. And he vented his displeasure about it online via tweets. And the tweets was, "You're a mother. It's disrespectful," right? And the tweets went down the road of, "I'm being disrespected and you're rebelling against me," right? Now, obviously, I'm not in their household, so I don't know what gets said. But from the tweets, we can guess that her boyfriend wasn't happy with what went down. He felt disrespected, right? Now, instead of her mitigating the situation by either remaining quiet in the public or saying, "I'm so sorry" in the public, she did what a lot of black women do in these Western countries, which is to double down on it. So therefore, she did this music video with Usher, and the music video was about, it was called Boyfriend, and the lyrics were about her rebelling against the authority of her man. I mean, there's no other way you could actually see it. So this is a continuation of a video that I did before, and this is basically the update of that, right? So let's give some commentary on it. So if you are with a man and your man doesn't like you doing something, or you are with a man full stop, regardless if he said it or not, you are not to leave your house half naked, and least of all, allow yourself to be serenaded by another man, and then you flirt back with that other man. You're not supposed to do that. That is wrong. That is 100% wrong, right? Now, what I'm going to do, because with this little incident, there was a follow-up to it, and the follow-up is that Usher made a song, and she was in the video, and it's clearly a song which is dealing with that situation, right? As in a way of making a parody of that situation, right? So what I'm going to do, because I can't play the song, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to read you the lyrics of the song, and then we'll go into the Bible, right? So these are the lyrics of the song. So the song is called Boyfriend, and these are the pictures. These are like pictures from the video, right? So you see them right now on your screen. So this is the lyrics of the song. "Somebody said that your boyfriend's looking for me. Oh, that's cool, that's cool. Well, he should know I'm pretty easy to find. Just look for me wherever he sees you." Right, so this is the guy that serenaded another man's woman, and he's making a song as if like it's good fun, right? It's not a joke. This is not a joke. You're dealing with families. You're dealing with children. A child is involved in this situation, right? So it's not good fun. So let's read on. "I go wherever you go. Oh, let's skip that bit. So let's go to the juicy bit. So it seems natural for me to wander off to where you are. Wander off to where you are in your head, cause I'm not in your bed. You just imagine." All right, so let's move on to the other verses. "Daydreaming about me, trying to be on your best behavior, loving me on the low. The taste of your thoughts, I can't wait until it's over," right? So all this stuff is suggestive. Now, I'm not insinuating that Usher and this lady had anything going. You know, it's just, as far as I know, it's a parody, right? But at the same time, it's taken advantage of the situation as to poke fun. But my argument is poking fun is not fun, right? Because couples break up and it causes a wedge between a man and his woman, right? Or if, say, that the man and his woman are having problems, it makes it even worse, right? And the loser is always the children, is always the child. So let's carry on. So it says, I try my best not to be all in your phone, but I know that's not what you want. Might as well keep some pictures of the two of us in your home when you slow dance by yourself. I'm just behind you. Spray my fragrance on your skin. It will remind you of the times we linked up and the nights we dreamt of, girl. Somebody said that your boyfriend's looking for me, and that's cool. Okay, we did that. So let's skip down to the last verse. So it says, I go wherever you go. I go wherever you go. If you could find a way, because I'll be right there. Or honestly, all the time I'm dreaming. I go wherever you go. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, whoa. Okay, all right. So that is pretty much the lyrics of the song. Right? Now, this is not what we should do. Right? We should not get involved in couples. If I'm a man and I make a mistake and the husband of that woman is not very happy with me, what do? I just let the situation quiet down. I don't get involved in that situation. What I don't do is add fire on the flames, right? For clout. I don't do that, right? It's wrong, right? So let's now go to the Bible. Which is where I really wanted to get to, because believe it or not, I don't really care about these people. You know, they're brothers and sisters, and I care about them to a certain extent in terms of brothers and sisters, because you want your brother and sisters to do well and to, you know, to give their lives to the Lord, etc., etc., etc. But we know that 2/3 of Israel are going to be cut off, and the Lord is not going to take them into the kingdom. We know that. We know that only a remnant of Israel shall be saved. And we know to get to the kingdom of heaven, it's a very narrow, very, very, very narrow road, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the Apocrypha and I'm going to bring out a few scriptures on friendships, right? So I'm going to deal with Sirach 37 from 1 to 10. So let's read Sirach 37. Now I normally say Sirach, but it's actually Ecclesiasticus, right? Ecclesiasticus. There is Ecclesiastes in the 66 books, and then in the Apocrypha, the books that they took out of the original Bible, you have Ecclesiasticus, right? Which was written by the son of Sirach, right? So it's Sirach 37, and we are reading from 1 to 10. Here, ready, go. Every friend said, I am his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name. Right, so the Bible is saying that everybody that calls themselves your friend is not a friend. Let's read it again. Every friend said, I am his friend also. But there is a friend which is only a friend in name. Is not a grief unto death when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy? Right? So it says, is it not a grief unto death when a companion, when that's your best friend, meaning your wife, right? Your wife or your spouse, and friend is turned into an enemy, when they become your enemy. O wicked imagination, whence comest thou in to cover the earth with deceit? There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend. So some friends are there because you are prosperous. Your wife is there because you are prosperous. Some people are in your life because you are prosperous and they call themselves friends, but they're only friends when the good times are flowing. Right, so let's read 4 again. There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him. In other words, I don't know that guy. You know, I don't know him. He doesn't have any money, so he can't give me anything. So I don't know him. I'm not even going to bother seeing him. If he's in trouble, if he's sick, his relative is sick, and he needs some help, I'm not even going to bother. Because what can he give me? He can't give me anything. He has no money anymore. There is a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, in the time of trouble would be against him. There is a companion which helped his friend for the belly, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy. Right? So there's companions out here that are with you because you are doing well in life. Aren't a lot of these relationships, a lot of these marriages are doing very well? The woman stays because you have money. The moment you lose your job, lose your big job, lose your business, or business is not doing very well, she's gone. I'm not staying with you. You know, I'm accustomed to a lifestyle, so I'm now going to look elsewhere to another rich man so that I can cling to him. All of these games are playing out today, by the way. These are all the games that are playing out today. Let's read on. Forget not thy friend in... Right, so let's read 5 again. There is a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy. Right, so there's a companion that helps. So let's read again. There is a companion which helps his friend for the belly, for himself, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy. Forget not thy friend in thy mind, and be not unmindful of him in thy riches. Every counselor exalted counselling, but there is some that counsel it for himself. Right, so this is what you ladies, you, especially you black females, you sisters, you need to bear this in mind. This is what I really wanted to get to. Every counselor, because every woman is women counsel women, by the way. And women keep other women single. Women keep other women single by not holding them to accountability. So a woman would go, for example, oh, my husband is this, my husband is that. Oh, he doesn't wash his clothes. Oh, well, I have to keep doing this, that, and the other. He's out having a good time and I'm stuck at home doing work. Right? And she might go to her girlfriends. The girlfriends might go, excuse me, you at home stuck? Just come out and have some fun. We go into nightclubs and having fun. We got like so many boyfriends. I mean, after a period of time and you hang out with these women, you start thinking, oh, hang on. Why am I stuck at home doing all this work under the thumb of a husband? Why not just go out with my girlfriends and have some fun? Right? So that's what happens. So this is what the Bible is saying. So let's read 7 again. Every counsel exalteth counsel, but there is some that counsel it for himself. Right? Everybody has an opinion about something. Anybody can tell you, oh, this is where you're going wrong, or this is what you should do. Right? But some people do it for themselves because they don't have a husband. They have no prospects of finding a husband because they're horrible. Their behavior is horrible and they don't want to change, and they blame other men for their problems. So therefore, they don't want you to have a husband either. So if you have a husband, you're a woman and you have a husband, and you go to your girlfriend or girlfriends and you go, my husband this, my husband that, my husband this, my husband that. What do you think they're going to say to you? Because they don't have no husbands. They have a series of boyfriends, a series of relationships that don't work. Right? What do you think they're going to say to you? Are they going to say, stay married? No. 9 times out of 10, these women are going to say, just leave him. I don't take that from men. I don't take that from no man. You're an independent woman. Why are you taking that from any man? That's normally the counsel that happens. Because remember, women keep other women single. Let's read on. Every counsel extolleth counsel, but there is some that counselled for himself. Beware of a counsellor, and know before what needs he heart, but he will counsel for himself, lest he cast the lot upon thee. So you gotta know, hang on, if these women don't have a husband and they have a series of failed relationships that didn't even get to an engagement, and their behavior is rotten, what kind of counsel are they going to give to you as a married woman with children? Are they going to say you should love, honor, and obey your husband? You should submit to your husband, listen to your husband, and do what he says? No, not in Western societies. They're not going to say that. Generally, I'm generalizing here. Not women in general are not going to say that. They're not going to say you should be submitting to your husband. No, they're going to say you should usurp his authority. And why are you taking that from any man? You shouldn't take that from no man. That's what they're going to say, right? So it says, be aware of a counselor and know before what needs he had. You got to know his situation. Where is he coming from? And for he will counsel for himself. He will counsel for himself because he wants you to be single like him, or she wants you to be single like her. Lest he cast the lot upon thee. least you fall into a trap. You become like them. You fall into their trap. And say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall be befall thee. So you've left your husband now. You've left your husband of 5 years. You've whinged about your husband. You don't want to submit. You don't want to do any work in the home. So now you've left your husband now, and they're standing on the other side of the road looking at you going, you left your husband. Oh, you're getting a divorce. Oh, join the club. That's what they're going to say. You see, the grass is not always greener. Always remember that. There is concrete on the other side, and you will fall and you will smash to bits. So it says 9, and say unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side to see what shall befall thee. 10, counsel not with one that suspected thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. So you got to know who is giving you counsel, because you could have a lot of women don't have husbands. They don't want you to have a husband because they don't have a husband. They're looking for a husband. So therefore, why would you go to them for counsel? If you're a woman, you go to an elder. You go to an elder woman who has been successfully married. Right? That's who you go to for counseling, who is going to give you instructive or constructive counseling and based on biblical principles. That's who you go to for counseling. You don't go to other women, right? You go to someone who's actually doing it and who's very successful at it and who's going to encourage you to stay with your husband. If you have a man, they're going to encourage you to listen to your man. If he doesn't like you going out there dressing like a whore, don't do it. In fact, you shouldn't even be doing it anyway, because the Bible says that you shouldn't. The laws in the Bible says that you should dress in modest apparel. Okay, so what we're going to do is let's read 10 again, and then we're going to move somewhere else. Counsel not with one that suspected thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. So you got to know who's giving you counseling, and you got to know whether they envy you or not, secretly jealous of you or not. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to another scripture. We're going to go to Sirach 9. We're going to go to Sirach 9, and we're going to read from 1 to 11. So a lot of you females, you take counsel from other females, and that's why you do these stupid things. I can trust in the fact that women do these stupid things in public to annoy their husbands because other women are okay in it. They are encouraging it. They are enabling it. They are counseling other women to do stupid things. And that's why a lot of these relationships don't really go anywhere. You get a series of relationships that last for 3 months max or 6 months, and then they just disintegrate. They don't go anywhere, right? So let's read Sirach 9. So we're reading Sirach 9, and we're reading from 1 to 11. So this now is about men and women. Let's listen. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. So don't be jealous about your wife, right? So don't be jealous about your wife. 2. Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance. So the flip side is, don't give your soul to a woman. If you're a man, you don't incentivize your wife to leave you by telling her everything like Samson did. Don't incentivize your wife to have that eminence, that power over you, that preeminence over you, that power over you. Meet not with a harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. You don't meet with a woman that dresses like a whore. The Bible says if you dress with the attire of a harlot, you are a harlot. So it says, meet not with a harlot, lest I fall into her snares. You don't meet with a woman that is half dressed and suggestive, because you will get enticed by it. Because the moment she starts saying, well, I always liked you, and she starts holding your hand, starts looking in your eyes, start kissing you, you fall into the trap. You fall into that trap. 4. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts, right? So you got to be careful that you don't get tempted by someone that entices you, right? That gets the blood flowing down there, right? You got to be careful. 5. Gaze not on a maid that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. So you gaze not on a young, beautiful woman that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. So you don't fall by looking at her breasts and her vagina. And I know these days, these women dress like whores. They dress in yoga bottoms, spandex, whatever you want to call it. They dress in tights, whereby it's very tight around their crotch. So we get to see the shape and look of their crotch, and we get to see how big their backside is. So it accentuates their curves and their backside. All of that is immodest. All of that is wrong. The Lord doesn't like that, right? So it says, gaze not on the maid. She might be dressing like that. That thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. Don't, so that you fall into her vagina, right? Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thy inheritance. Don't give your soul unto harlots. Don't be calling up harlots. Don't be speaking to harlots. If someone dresses like a whore and sounds like a whore and behaves like a whore, don't give them the time of day. Ignore them, right? And that goes for you, usher, or any of you rich men that think you can grab any man, not any man, but any woman, right? That goes for all of us, really. Not just the rich singers, but it goes for all of us, right? All of us men, right? So let's read 6. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance. You don't give your soul to a whore, right? Because it's never going to end well for you. 7. Look not around about thee in the streets of the city, neither wander thou in the solitary places thereof. So don't look around in the streets for whores. Don't do that. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindred of a fire. So don't be going around, because we know this is London, right? This is a world city. We have pretty females everywhere from all parts of the world, and when it gets warm, they all dress in next to nothing. They dress very sexily, right? So it's saying, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman. Don't stare at them. Turn away. Don't give them a second look, and don't stare at them. And look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled with a fire, right? Fire comes with that, because it never ends well. You fall in love, you claim that you fall in love, or you start talking to, or you start having a sexual relationship with someone who is a whore, and it's never going to end well. It's always going to end in tears. So you cannot make a whore a housewife. You can't do that. It will always end in tears, right? 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife. You don't sit with another man's wife. This is the bit that I really wanted to get to. You do not sit with another man's wife. Nor sit down with her in thine arms. Don't hold her in your arms. You're not supposed to be sitting with another man's wife. You know that woman is taken. You do not serenade her. Don't hold her in your arms, and don't be flirting with her. Right? So it says, sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her. Don't spend money with her at the wine. Don't sit in a bar spending money buying drinks. Lest thy heart incline unto her, because those drinks would make your heart soften to this woman, and vice versa too. And so through thy desire, thy fall into destruction, because now you have an affair with another man's wife. How are you now going to face that other man? Now you've had an affair with his wife. He's now legitimately going to kill you, right? He's going to want to kill you for that. 10. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. So if you have a wife, don't forsake your wife and say, well, out with the old, in with the new. Don't do that. So it said, forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is a new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. So you should put more energy to keeping your relationships, to keeping your marriages, to keeping old friends, to keeping your wives, to keeping your husbands. Don't start thinking, oh, well, I want a new husband because this one is getting on my nerves. And then you ditch your husband and then you go for someone younger. Or you ditch your wife and you go for someone younger. Don't do that. The Bible says, forsake not an old friend. Don't forsake your wives and don't forsake your husbands. For the new is not comparable to him. There must be something that made you marry this man. There must be something that made you marry this woman. Things were going well until you met this new friend. And then when you met this new friend, you start flirting with this work husband. And next thing you know, you have an affair. And boom, your marriage is over. A new friend is not a new wine. A new friend is not a new wine. A new friend is as new wine. A new friend is as new wine when it is old. So when you find someone, that's a new friend, right? Say you're looking for a wife and you find a wife. That's a new friend, right? So it says a new friend is a new wine. That's a new wine when it is old. When it is old. So so when you stay with that person, you still with new wine. That's why you always hear old couples always saying, oh, she looks exactly the same as the day I met her. Why? Because in his mind, he's thinking spiritually, this woman is the same woman that she's always been. She's always a new friend to me. Thou shalt drink it with pleasure. When this woman is old, you shall have good times. You wouldn't have to worry about her going away cheating on you, right? Because you've been loyal to her for all this time and she's been loyal to you, right? So you can trust in her, right? When you ditch a relationship thinking the grass is greener, you go to this other relationship thinking it's going to be so much better, and only to find you're going to have to start from scratch again. And you're going to have to deal with so many problems that you had to deal with before with your spouse all those years ago that you overcame, that you both overcame, and now you're back to square one again, dealing with all these demons again and new demons to deal with. So now you're back to square one again, dealing with all of these new demons. You're better off staying with your old spouse who you weathered the storm with, and you got to a stage where your relationship is fantastic, right? So don't ditch your husband because you're bored. That's just ridiculous to me. So let's move on. 11. Envy not the glory of a sinner. Don't look on these other women and going, oh, well, they're having such a good time over there. I want to have some of that. For thou knowest not what shall be this end. You don't know how it's going to end. You ditch your husband. You go, oh, I'm going to have some fun like my girlfriends do. I'm gonna be a whore. I'm gonna go to nightclubs. I'm gonna dress like a whore. I'm gonna do all these things that I've always wanted to do but couldn't because I was with my old friend. I was with my old husband and I'm bored. I just want to have some fun. I want to feel something. He doesn't meet my emotions anymore. I just don't feel like I'm in love anymore. I don't have no feelings for my husband anymore. Right? You don't ditch your husband for those reasons, right? Because you don't know what your end is going to be. So it says, envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not what shall be his end. You don't know how it's all going to end, right? So let's quickly go to Sirah. Sirah 6. So we're going to stay in Sirah. So we're going to do the last scripture, which is in Sirah 6, and we are going to race it down. So this is about friendship, right? This is about friendship. And we're going to read from 4 to 18, and they're very short verses, so it's not going to take me too long. A wicked soul shall destroy him that heart. So this is Sirah 6, reading from 4 to 18. A wicked soul shall destroy him that heart it, and shall not make him to be laughed to scorn his enemies. Sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue would increase kind greetings. Right? So that's how you attract friends. Be in peace with many, nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000. You don't listen to a whole load of people. You listen to one particular counselor that knows what they're talking about, that can give you some biblical advice, some biblical counsel, right? If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first. You got to prove your friend. You got to go through the friendship stage. And be not hasty to credit him. Don't be hasty to credit a friend. For some man is a friend for his own occasion. So you have different types of friends. Some friends are just there because you have money. You have a name and you have money, and they just wanna surf on that. And will not abide in the day of thy trouble, because they're not real friends. They're just there for the money, for the fame, because you're the it person, you're the it girl, you're the it person. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach. Again, some friend is a companion at the table, but will not continue in the day of thy affliction. So the Lord saw it fit to repeat it again. You got to define who is a real friend and who is not. And take counsel only from one out of 1,000, right? You listen to one person who knows what they're talking about. But in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants. If thy be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face. So that's not a real friend. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. So you got to know who is your enemy and who is your friend. If someone is your enemy, you don't need to be around them. You only need to be around friends. So it says, separate thyself from thy enemies, and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure, right? If you found a friend, you found a good husband and a good wife, who's supposed to be your best friend, by the way, then keep that friendship alive. Keep it going. So it says, a faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure. If you found a faithful wife and a faithful husband, you stay with that person. Nothing do it countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is a medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright, for as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. So let's read on. 18. My son, gather instruction from thy youth up. So when you're young, you're supposed to be gathering instructions. You're supposed to be listening to older people who know what they're talking about, or people who are mature in their thoughts and who is going to give you godly counsel. My friend, gather instruction from thy youth up. So shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age, because you can take that wisdom with you. As you get older, you can take that wisdom with you, and then you don't end up making really terrible mistakes. Now, the problem that we have in this society is that we have a whole load of people just looking to be entertained, to be amused, to have something to laugh about, to feel something. Right? We live in a microwave culture where people are in it just for the money and the fame, and then they leave you when it's all gone. Right? We live in a culture that aggrandizes whoredom, whoredom from the man and whoredom from the woman. It aggrandizes a man sleeping around, right? That is not godly. And it aggrandizes a woman sleeping around, which is definitely not godly, because the Lord never designed a woman's body to have multiple men in her body, because that makes her defiled, seriously defiled. Because now she's not, when her husband comes along, a good man comes along, she's not able to have a soul tie with that man. She's not able to adequately bond with that man as her husband, because she's bonded with all these different men over the years. She's at one with them. So therefore, it's very difficult for her to actually start bonding with her husband because of all of her sexual activities, her body count. They call it body count, right? Right. So this video really is about Cheeks for Usher, right? Initially, it was about Cheeks for Usher and how terrible that is. But my prayer to our brothers and sisters is that we come away from this kind of we're doing it because our friends want us to do it and because our friends are waving us on until we hit the skids. right? And then when we hit the skids, our friends are no longer there anymore. They're like laughing at you, going, ha 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 ha. You left your husband? Ha 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 ha. You destroyed your family? Ha 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 ha. You now don't have a husband? Ha 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 ha. They're laughing at you from the other side, and they're happy. Because deep down inside, they were envious of you. You had the husband, you had the child, you had the home. You seemed to have a really nice life. And they were very envious of you. And you were so foolish that you actually took their counsel. And then you did what they said to do. And then you left your husband. You caused strife in the home. And then you now left your husband. And then you claim, oh, well, he was too controlling. He was insecure. Oh, well, he was a misogynist. Oh, well, he was a this. And it was always the man's fault, by the way. Oh, well, I was just bored. Oh, well, it was just boring. I just wasn't feeling anything. Oh, well, I was just going through the emotions. There was nothing there anymore. I didn't have any feelings for him anymore. And you act on those issues and you leave your husband, then more fool you. Because you end up with no husband, broken home, children raised with no father in the home, and then who becomes the failure? You become the failure, and they gain because they see that you're now like them. So now their envious behavior has now brought forth fruit. I know this was a long video. I didn't really intend for it to be long, but brothers and sisters, I hope you gained something from it. Shalom.